Today on the Autism Channel World News, the flight that made an emergency landing to eject a family with a girl on the spectrum has been discussed worldwide. The girl's mother joins Tim Yancey to talk about the overwhelming public reaction. More families sue Disney over theme park changes to their disability policy. Another autistic teenager arrested by police in schools comes forward in Virginia, and there may be a way to identify autism in a child even before he's born. And if you follow The Bachelor on ABC, you want to see what one of the runners-up is doing now. I'm Nancy Quinones with Tim Yancey and Carl Nubile, and this is the Autism Channel World News for Saturday, May 16th, 2015. Earlier this month, police were called to a Bob Evans restaurant in Lynchburg, Virginia. The reason? A 15-year-old nonverbal boy with autism became overstimulated while waiting for his food. The restaurant refused to comment, but the mother spoke out, saying she wished the situation would have been handled differently. Only a few news organizations covered the story. But a few days later, when a flight from Texas to Oregon was diverted to Utah to remove a family with an autistic child, it received national attention. Tim Yancey takes the story from there.
Dr. Beegle is the CEO of a nonprofit anti-poverty organization in the Portland metropolitan area. She flies a lot, and her family does too. So when she found herself the center of what United Airlines called an in-flight emergency, well, she joins us to tell us the story.
It was numbing. It was, we honestly did not think they were landing the plane for us. We thought that someone else was having a struggle. Maybe there was a fight. Maybe there was somebody having a heart attack. Juliet was just watching her video. We just had no idea we were the reason they were landing this big old plane. Just stunned.
Now, Dr. Beegle, how do you handle something like this?
Well, I told the police when they were escorting us, the police were totally disgusted. They had come to our row. They saw there was no issue. They said, there's no issue here. They were leaving the plane when the pilot stopped them and sent them back to tell us he wasn't comfortable flying with our daughter on the plane. So the policeman promised me that he would get statements, and he had probably 10 pages of statements from passengers saying it was uncalled for. So as we went off the plane, I told the police officer, as a mom, this is killing me. But as Dr. Beagle, I'm filing a lawsuit. I'm going to the media. I will not be silent about this injustice.
Do you recognize that you're one of many people in this situation?
Absolutely. That is exactly what drove me. We're not the only ones, and we won't be the only ones if we don't force change.
So how did you explain this to your daughter?
What's been interesting, it's been really traumatic to our family, our entire family. Juliet has not been herself. Every one of us got sick. One of the things I teach about poverty is the stress of poverty affects immunity. And I think the stress of this entire incident has affected our family in so many ways. My 17-year-old said, I feel like a criminal. And Juliet has just been quieter. I mean, she's typically this happy, laughing, swinging, jumping, playing girl. And she's just been quiet. And we know she's aware. We know she knows. She can't tell us, like my son says, I feel like a criminal, but she's feeling it.
Now, what advice do you have for other parents in this situation?
Well, I really believe we cannot be silent. We cannot let people say, oh, if your child has special needs, stay home. Really? You're gonna lock them in a corner? No. My daughter comes alive when she travels. Novelty and new things are what bring out words for her. So, we include her in everything. And I think that's what we as parents with children, we love every bit as much as any other child, we have to stand up for them and say it's not okay to exclude them. It's not okay to discriminate. And when it happens, we can't be silent. We have to tell people.
Now, you got pretty lucky that somebody shot a video of most of this incident.
Tell him thank you for me. That was very kind of him. 90% of people are just like we were, completely like this is not okay. And so, I have pilots who are writing me and saying, I apologize on behalf of all pilots. I would have treated your family with dignity and respect, and we would have worked this out. And that's really heartwarming. That's the hope for us in the world of special needs, is that there are so many people who feel the things that a parent feels, that this is injustice. So I really appreciate him taking that video. That really, getting the statements for the police report, I thought was really important. I filmed Juliet as she was coming off the plane so I could show people. I took pictures of her on the plane watching her video, but someone else doing it, we don't even know. We didn't even know it happened. That was really, really helpful.
At the end of the video, the passengers talk about a lawsuit.
So that's going to be a lawsuit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Are you going to file one?
I filed a complaint immediately on the United website. I got a standard response, and I haven't heard anything since. I filed a complaint with FAA, and I got a response saying that they were going to investigate. And I've talked with an attorney, and I've been talking with an attorney again today. It's an ADA violation. That plane didn't land because Juliet was a threat. That plane didn't land because the customers had a safety issue. That plane landed because of ignorance about autism.
We have reached out to United Airlines. They've sent us this prepared statement shortly before our deadline. We've offered them the opportunity to respond, and if they do, we will bring you more about this continuing story on our next edition. I'm Tim Yancey.
There are now at least 58 families suing Disney theme parks over autism-related claims. 14 new families joined the fray with a new lawsuit claiming that Disney's new method of dealing with autistic park visitors isn't working. This new California suit seeks damages and relief under a California state law, the Unruh Civil Rights Act. The Autism Channel Spectrum at Law program features an interview with one of the attorneys bringing this action, Andy Dugali. That's the Spectrum at Law Episode 6, plus Spectrum at Law Episode 3 covered the issue when the change was first made. When we return, Carl Nubile on a study about maternal blood during pregnancy and how it may be an early indicator of autism in the unborn child. And an update on the contestant on The Bachelor, who is now concentrating on autism. Stay with us, we'll be right back. This is the Autism Channel World News. I'm Nancy Quinones.
Three college students, Jason, Eddie, and Eric, joined together to create the Jubilee Project. What united them was their passion for philanthropy and filmmaking. When one of their causes became autism awareness, they created Fireflies. We're grateful that they granted the Autism Channel the ability to share their outstanding work with our audience. Here is Fireflies.
This love is catching me by surprise. So Rachel Barcelona, she is a future psychologist, current beauty pageant contestant, and along with all the other talents that you have, you're also quite a good singer is what we understand.
Yeah, I love singing.
And so we want to close things out with a clip of Rachel on stage performing for you.
Last week, Francisco Urena brought us the story of Caleb, an autistic teenager arrested for assaulting a police officer and charged with a felony. The officer is part of an extensive police presence in Virginia schools. Susan Ferris, who broke that story as a reporter for the Center for Public Integrity, has now discovered a similar case in Virginia. This time, a white student whose parents report that Henrico County School District was very nice and supportive, but claimed it was mandated to take the action it did. The parents believe their child should have never been arrested in the first place. The whole story is on the Center for Public Integrity website. The URL is on the screen. Carl Nubile joins us now with news about research that may reveal a future autism diagnosis in a child not yet born. Carl?
This week in Salt Lake City, the IMFAR conference was held. IMFAR is the International Meeting for Autism Research, and it is the prime conference for scientists and researchers to report findings to an audience of other scientists and researchers. So the papers presented are usually pretty complex, and the one we're focusing on is no exception. We'll do our best to summarize it. The research was presented by Margaret Fallon, professor and chair of the Department of Mental Health at Johns Hopkins School of Medicine. It is a study of DNA methylation, the process by which DNA becomes reprogrammed as a combination of sperm and egg. This study concludes that several markers during the methylation process in the womb can be matched up with test results after the birth of the child. Those later test results are from the Autism Observation Scale in infants. Now, that is a fairly but not totally reliable predictor of whether the child will develop autism. It's all very early and there are a lot of assumptions, but this study might begin the process of harmonization of many different suspected causes of autism, things like both maternal and paternal age, maternal body chemistry, and environmental conditions. The Johns Hopkins study used a sample of 79 mothers who are at higher risk of producing autistic offspring because they've already given birth to a child on the spectrum. If this study is replicated in larger samples over longer periods, this could be a significant breakthrough in the search for the cause of autism.
As the autism numbers rise, so does autism's visibility. This isn't always expressed in lawsuits and diverted flights. We leave you with the story of a former contestant on ABC's The Bachelor, who has now found her calling. She's Lindsay Yenter, a special education teacher who works daily with people on the spectrum.
Did I miss the memo?
Here she is trying to win the prize, which in Bachelor, season 17, was Sean Lowe. She didn't win Sean, and she's now moved on to seek a more noble prize. Lindsay is using her notoriety to help the Cynthia Norell and Ho'oloa Foundations with funding and visibility. Sorry, Sean. Better luck next time. Ho'oloa helps the high-functioning transition through college to employment. The Norell Foundation funds therapeutic interventions, assist devices, and service animals for people with ASDs. So potential bride Lindsay Yenter has become the community spokesperson for these organizations. One more example of the constantly increasing visibility of autism in every facet of our culture. That's the Autism Channel World News for Saturday. For our news team and everyone at the Autism Channel, join us again as we continue to unlock the wonders of autism. See you next time. I'm Nancy Quinones.